Mr. Donald Triplett was born in September 1933 to Beeman and his wife, Mary, in Forest City, Mississippi. The happiness of parents and family was unmeasurable with the arrival of the family's first child. At 2 years of age, his parents noticed that the boy didn't respond when calling his name, didn't look at who was talking to him, didn't approach the children, played alone in a strange way, such as spinning things, obsessed with numbers and alphabets, repeating the words he heard non-stop, and exhibiting a lot of strange behaviors that his father recorded with a real characterization. It was the view of the doctors at Forest 1937 that the 4-year-old boy should be put away in an infectious disease institution and forget about him because there were no rehabilitation centers at that time for such children. However, Beeman and Mary did not stop visiting their son, and the mother noticed that the boy's health had deteriorated considerably, forcing them to return with their son to Forest 1938, and then an appointment was made with Dr. Lucanar at Johns Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore. When seen by Dr. Lucanar, asked them to see him more than once because he didn't have the right key to what he saw. A child who didn't respond to his name, made repeated bizarre movements, engaged in a tantrum of unknown reasons, driven by a strong desire for isolation, with an obsessed insistence on similar repeated behaviors, yet had the qualities of intelligence that allowed him to name any musical note he had heard only once, knowing lots of numbers and alphabets despite his young age. By 1943, Dr. Kannar had seen 10 children with symptoms similar to Triplett symptoms described in his article Autism Disorder of Emotional Communication, where Kannar referred to Triplett as case number 1 when determining which disorder became known as autism. Instead of sending him back to an institution to live the rest of his life, Dr. Kannar advised them to teach him all the life skills in the countryside and the city. Donald's parents did all they could to care for and train the child until Donald gained the ability to rely on himself, growing up like his younger brother Oliver and all the children. They sent him to the city's public schools. He was integrated into everyday life in his city, where he was accepted and loved by everyone there. His schoolmates were happy to get involved and play with him. All his badges and books were adorned with written notes from his classmates and teachers talking about how great a friend he was to everyone. He was involved in all school activities, and everyone considered his obsessed interest in numbers to be a kind of genius and not strange or unacceptable behaviors. With the effort and support of his parents, family, and everyone in his city, Triplett learned to live successfully with autism, eventually graduated from high school, and pursued his academic achievement at the university. He received a bachelor's degree in French in 1958 from Millsaps College in Jackson. His college colleagues, who were happy to teach him a lot of skills, failed to teach him how to run and how to swim, how to make a conversation back and forth, because those skills were not Donald's priorities, and he never paid attention to them. After graduating from college, he returned to his city Forest. He lived in his city where everyone respected him, enjoyed with friends, he saw them regularly, learned to drive a car, and used to drive his own Cadillac on the streets of the Forest. Upon his return after graduation, he started working at Forest Bank, owned by his mother's family, loved by everyone there, and there were a lot of fond memories with them, despite the limited conversation that do not exceed simple sentences and sometimes very brief answers limited to yes or no. He continued his work at Forest Bank for more than 60 years, actually 65 years, because his parents didn't satisfy them. Less than a full life for him to live in all its details. His brother Oliver, 5 years his junior, would share him every detail of his happy life with children and grandchildren to be like a father for them. Donald enjoyed his daily sport golf. Donald traveled alone throughout the United States and visited some other countries in the world. On Thursday, 15/6, 2023, Mr. Donald's so-called Case 1 died. On Monday, 19/6, 2023, his funeral and burial in his city, Forest, which embraced and loved him. Donald will remain in everyone's memory. The ray of hope will shine for every family has a child with autism disorder. His city will continue to set a good example for all the world in respect, love, and acceptance of others. That was a story of family who offered her life to help her child, like any family I have known in my 40 years of experience. But I hope every child finds the full support of love and respect from school, classmates, neighbors, and everyone in the city, like Donald Scott. Thanks.